This week in the NBA. Now, my this week in the NBA was not in the NBA, but somebody who was propped up to be the guy in the NBA, Emoni Bates. He's facing 2 felony gun charges after being pulled over in Michigan. And you tweeted about this, Riff. You know that social media is hyping up these kids too fast.
Pee-wee got some love.
Pee-wee, we had you on the show, your very first appearance, talking about how Emoni Bates, you weren't a big fan of his game and what he did in Memphis. But I think this situation is a bit heartbreaking for somebody that, was at the top of the world in terms of the basketball sense, and he's fallen off from grace, not only leaving the Division I program to go to a much lesser school, but now not even probably going to play basketball because he's facing 2 felonies. I think it is a heartbreaking story.
I think people misconstrued what I said. A few people thinking I was blaming his community for why he was messing up. No, I just think people put so much pressure.
You had a lot of people interact with that, so there's a plethora of opinions, but I think you put it perfectly.
We put too much pressure on these young kids to succeed. And, of course, the pressure comes with the game, but there's nobody, there should never be a time where you're 12 years old, 13 years old, and you're dubbed the future of the league. I feel like that's just ludicrous. That's something that shouldn't be put out. And that's putting just too much on a young kid who has yet to experience puberty, who has yet to experience a prom. Like,
I see both sides there.
There shouldn't be another side, in my opinion.
I see like both sides too.
We should let these kids grow up, and because that's already putting a stamp on them and putting a mark on them.
Only reason why
that's what he worked hard for. That's
exactly,
what he wants.
Exactly.
Him and his father wanted that title. That's
true.
What they strove for, and they put all the hours in the gym that they did for him to get as talented as he is. They did that to have that claim.
What about the kids that don't, though? They just go out there and just hoop.
That's called hard. That's the motivation. You want to talk about Emoni? You want to talk about LeBron? You want to talk about Luka? Why aren't you talking about me?
What do you mean?
Playing the basketball
I'm talking
that
the grand
I played
scheme
in my life, being around the game, my little brother playing now. I don't know one person who put the work in to not have that. Introduce me to a motherfucker who put in 50 extra hours over the course of 2 weeks, who turns down social life activities as a teenager
100%.
To go to the gym and makes those sacrifices. Introduce me to that one kid who telling you he doing all that to not have that title. I would love to meet him.
The future
I
want to
meet the kid who
Mikey
stays
loves
extra
that attention.
3 hours and tells you I don't want to be on the cover of Slam magazine. What high school kid? Listen to some of the stories. Kids that ain't even go to the prom. Introduce me to the kid who put that much work in to not want to be on the cover of Slam magazine, or who doesn't want to be the top ranked player, or who doesn't want Division
I think being a top ranked player is different than being a future face of the NBA.
That's what comes with
that.
You
don't think Zion didn't eat it up?
Zion didn't like it. He came out and he said he didn't like being that type of popular. He didn't at all. Bronny Jr. don't like all that publicity either.
The thing that Bronny James, he doesn't get the attention because
that's what I'm talking about though. The publicity part. I'm not talking about the basketball landscape. Of course you want to be the number 1 ranked player. Of course you want to be on the cover of a sports mag. But I'm talking about the publicity part of it all. You shouldn't have to go through that.
It's called exposure.
That's the difference, though. That's the difference. To not like it is different from knowing that it's going to come with it. You cannot like some shit. I cannot like certain things about a fucking 2K, but I'm knowing it's going to be on the game. I'm knowing it.
That's true.
So I have to prepare for it. I don't think nothing wrong with that. The problem is, and I can't speak for Emoni Bates personally, but these kids that do get hyped, they don't have anybody around them holding them accountable. And that's what I said, Joel. It's not that I did not like Emoni Bates' game. He's 6'9", can shoot, got ISO moves. What's to not like? What I don't like is the optics. The fact that everything is controlled by him and his camp. His dad created an entire fucking school. It don't work. When everything is molded around you, the first time in life, it don't work. It ain't like that. Hence, Memphis. All hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. The first time it wasn't built for Emoni to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. It didn't have success. It did not have success. And now, again, I don't know him and his people, so I'm not trying to put anything on them. But then you go to Eastern Michigan, Now you're riding around with a gun. I'm just saying, if my little brother was ever able to be as good or have that much hype, I'll tell you, he not having no gun. It's no way in hell.
No.
It's no way in hell. It's no way in
Gotta
hell.
have
My
the right
dad just
people
called
in
me
your
2 days
circle.
ago, and my dad said, "Hey, let me know if I'm wrong, P. Your little brother want to go to export." I said, "Cool." He told me he was going with his homie Connor. Then he called me back and said he going with Connor's friend. He said, "I don't know who the fuck Connor's friend is, so EJ not gonna be able to go." Because it's like, and I say you're not wrong, because if Connor's friend get pulled over with weed, nobody's gonna give a fuck about Connor's friend. It's going to say EJ Breland, a high school basketball star, arrested for weed charges. Nobody gonna give, like, even the Emoni Bates situation. It may not be Emoni Bates' gun. His attorney said that it was the person's car he was borrowing's gun. That may be the entire truth. Nobody gives a fuck about the person's car he borrowed. They care about Emoni Bates. Boom. You gotta put people around you that's gonna hold you accountable and tell you the shit you don't want to hear. Because the shit you need to hear is usually what you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it anyway. So that's what they do. Stop putting these kids up and hyping them up and then telling them they shit don't stink, because the reality is they shit do stink, and a lot of these guys are highly ranked. They get into that league and LeBron James is in that motherfucker. Luka Doncic in that motherfucker. And oh yeah, now you're a role player. You're not dunking on Timmy who's trying to be a fucking doctor. That's the reality. A lot of these niggas is gonna be role players.
I'm a nurse. And Pierre, you said that perfectly, and thank you for clarifying that, because I did misspeak about what you said. Because you did say it was built around Emoni. And in Memphis, he didn't adjust to a role he was given, because he was always the superstar in wherever he was. And you're right. With all these social media mixtapes that go up, everybody telling you that you're the best, you're on Slam Magazine, heralded as the next LeBron James, when you don't have somebody there to hold you accountable for your mistakes, this is how things can end up. And unfortunately, this is the total opposite of the spectrum, because at worst, we probably thought Emoni was going to make it to, get drafted, second round pick, make a team, try to claw his way into the NBA. But this is unexpected for him to, this is felonies. Like, this is fucking serious.
Yeah.
This is not just basketball. This is his life.
I'm rooting for the kid, and I'm praying for him, because this is the type of shit that people lose their minds about. Like, one of my favorite college players ever, Tyler Honeycutt, rest in peace. He killed himself, and he had a shootout with the police. I'm not sure if y'all familiar. And his mom came out and said he was going through a lot, because it dawned on him he's not going to the NBA. That was hard for him to accept, that he put that all into his life, and he won't. So now you have these situations where you're the man. You're Slam Magazine. Slam Magazine means the world to me, because as a kid, my dad collected them all. I know it might not be the same in 2020, but to be on the cover of Slam Magazine is a very big fucking deal as a high school player. To go from that to now, like Joel said, have a felony. You fuck around, can't even go to Toronto no more. Like, I got some homies that got some felonies. Certain shit come with felonies. You know what I mean? Certain shit come with felonies beyond the jail time.
That's facts.
It's tough. So I'm hoping that we can, this can come full circle and be a special fucking 30 for 30 story about a kid who went through all this, but still somehow found stardom in the league, because a lot of shit comes with this that a lot of people don't think about. It's automatic. Oh yeah, he might not play this year. Fuck this year. He's going to have to carry on the rest of his life being a guy that was this close. That's what people are going to look at him as. So, it's tough, man. It's a very tough subject. I'm never here on some I told you so. I wanted that to happen. I want every kid to make it. I'm just talking about the realities. That's all. But I'm rooting for. I have no reason to root against anybody. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Shit, So, but it's tough, bro. It's tough. It's tough.
Be real.
Yeah, no cap. I mean, listen, P, you could be right, but it's unfortunate that it had to be in a situation like this. You know what I mean? It's like, you never envisioned something like this to happen to Emoni, and now it's that's what I mean. It just seemed like that from the beginning. No, that's not what it was. It's just you had an inclination. It's not like you were plotting on it at all. To shift topics, I understand that we're going from one extreme to something that's not really that huge of a deal. But kind of big implications on the NBA. The NBA new take foul. That now in transition, if you try to just foul someone to stop the transition break, for them getting an easy bucket, now they get a free throw attempt and the ball back. Now they're basically doing this to promote more defense because in their words, a lot of the exciting basketball that occurs is on the defensive side of the ball, and now they're encouraging teams to play defense, but also at the same time, now we see the highlight plays in transition. I like this rule, personally. I thought that the transition foul was always bullshit, to be honest with you. There's no reason for that to be allowed and then to just stop play, take the ball out from the side. We want to see the transition plays. We want to see the offense get going. A bunch of LeBron's greatest highlights are in transition on a wide open break. I'm just being completely honest. But
like
now, of course, but now there is consequence for that, and it should make games a lot more exciting.
That should be fucking me up in 2K.
They changed it in 2K
yes,
also?
I get that because I always reach.
I thought that's why you just brought it up because it's been on my mind.
I always reach after they get a rebound because I try to get like that quick steal and they transition foul, foul,
one shot and the ball.
Yeah, I'll be like, fuck.
I like that personally.
That shit cost me a game one time. It was 98.
I like it too.
It was 98-99, and I just missed like a go-ahead shot to get 1-on-1. I fucking reached with DeJounte. Take foul and ball. Dude made the free throw. And then LeBron
that
the
take
game
foul
winner.
used to fuck up the floor games.
Yeah,
man.
I was hurt. But my this week in the NBA is Lonzo Ball. They're going back in to fix his knee. It's pretty simple. I ain't really about to dig in deep into all the funny weird ass names. They're going back in to fix his knee. Whatever they happened before, he keeps one day he's 100%, the next day he's 50%. There's still a tweak in his knee. So they're going back to fix his knee, and hopefully he'll be reevaluated in about 4 to 8 weeks. Hopefully at that moment, he'll be ready to play.
2 months, 1 month to 2 months is not bad at all, bro.
And this is giving the opportunity for Io to start and begin his accelerated process to be a really good player.
Is Io starting over Caruso?
He should start over Caruso.
I don't know if he should.
I don't like Caruso as a starting point guard. I really don't like him as a starting point guard. But I hope Io should start.
Know.
If Caruso starts, though, it's not a problem for me either way. But I want Io to start. It accelerates his
progression. I'm with you. I see where you're coming from.
Hopefully big things for him, but yeah, hopefully Lonzo gets better.
Facts.
Y'all know I always come with my this week in NBA.
You a lie.
Pick a side, P. Nah, he's not lying. He always does come with
saying?
one. He gets tight at us when we skip him.
The NBA and the NBA Players Association are expected to agree on moving the age eligibility for the NBA draft from 19 to 18, clearing the way for the return of high school players making the NBA leap. Per sources, the reduced age limit for high school to NBA jump would go into effect as early as the 2024 NBA draft. That's major. If they did this 3 years ago, Emoni Bates
I was going to
right
say
now.
the same shit.
Shit, he'd have been here. We didn't have to worry about a damn thing.
He'd be on the Pistons with K. It'd be K, Emoni, and Ivy.
Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's well overdue though. There's really no reason to go to college for basketball, especially since you're doing it's one and done.
So let me ask you a question: what does this do to the G League though? The G League.
I feel like the G League now becomes a more established league.
No, you know what I'm talking about though. The shit with the young players when they pick either college or the I forgot what it's called.
G
I think
League?
Shit, more of them probably become eligible because you have to meet certain criteria. I don't think any high school player can go.
Well, yeah, they usually pick the best of the best, but you could just go
so
now.
They probably just drop that.
Well, they
shit
ain't,
like,
because they ain't gonna pick the best. The best just gonna go to the fucking league. Like, yeah, I'm
back.
out.
So now you can probably try out, and if you one of them niggas that were underrated, you might can make the team.
I need to get
That's an interesting question, though.
Yeah, because there's not just 18-year-olds walking around that are good enough to be in the G League.
They need to school me.
You got to be really, really fucking good.
Might go try out.